Sure. Okay.
You need one. I just like that. You can,
Seems to
you
don't
can
have a
share.
dog, doesn't it?
I'm so blind, I can't even see. That's why I'm always like this.
All right.
Okay, call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the April 2024 minutes. Everybody had a chance to review them. If there's no corrections or additions, need a motion to accept.
I move we accept the minutes from May, April.
Yeah. Got a motion, have a second?
I'll motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Unfinished business, pickleball noise, Kelly Park update.
Yeah, I actually received the report the day after our last park board meeting. You know, I said it was going to be for last month, but it didn't. It was actually the day after. Hope you all had a chance to review that. Judy had given us the name of a reputable sound mitigation company, PSM Consulting LLC, who performed the sound mitigation report. The company is an acoustics firm specializing in pickleball sound measurement and suppression solutions. Braxton Boren, an acoustics engineer, worked on the project. As you can read in the executive summary, came up with the conclusion that if barriers are used on the south side of the course, the decibel level would be lowered from 56 decibels to 48 decibels. This decibel level would fall between the quiet library and the typical office, according to their report here. As you can see, the effect of putting sound barrier on the west side had no effect on the levels. The cost of installing the 10-foot sound panels range between $10,000 and $15,000, depending on the company, just on the south side of it. So I don't know if there's any other questions or what you guys think of the report. I'll leave that up to Steve and you guys for discussion. So.
Is there one panel per, when you say panels on the south side, do you mean one panel or
No, I mean
multiple?
panels. There's 117 and a half foot of fence on the south side, so that would be panels 117 and a half foot, all on the south side.
I thought it was very comprehensive, much more than I kind of imagined it was going to be.
Yeah.
Judy, have you had a chance to see this?
I agree with you. It's very comprehensive. I think you did
Need to come up to the,
Yeah.
I feel it was very comprehensive. I think he did a good job of explaining what I'm dealing with. I think it was addressed well from the scientific standpoint. The only issue I had with it, I thought his proposal on fixing it was kind of weak. Because I think at 8 decibels, I'm here to tell you, reducing it 8 decibels is not going to make it to the sound of a quiet library. It isn't. The problem that I have with it is that they're trying to get it to a sound level that if you hear that sound, it's not going to bother you. But if you hear that sound over and over and over for hours and hours and hours, it bothers you. And he did not put any meat in this on what this noise does at multiple
Repetition.
hits. Yeah, and the duration of it. He commented in there that duration was an issue, but he just like, okay, we got these up, we can take it to 48, we're done. Well, I'm not sure that that's gonna work. And I have it, I was looking at it last night, of where that south wall goes, or fence is, where it comes around the corner and becomes the west side. where I was sitting on my porch last night, you know, I'm looking at it with no panels up. I can see 2 of the courts from my house, and nothing's gonna be covered there, so how does that noise stay in there without anything containing it? You know, I'm not a sound person, but I just can't imagine it could. And I'm not trying to make this difficult for everybody, believe me, I'm not. It's just that, you know, I've got a home here that's been greatly affected by it. He clearly states in here that the distance, or maybe it wasn't him. I sent you guys an article this morning. Did you see that, Larry?
I didn't get a chance to look at that. no.
Okay, I sent one, and it was very good at explaining distances, and I think it was that article it was either this one or that one. I read so much of this stuff, and it should be 600 to 800 feet. And I'm at 320 in my house, and the other thing I want you guys to realize is my backyard's 150 feet from it, because my lot is deep, and I'm out in that backyard a lot. I mean, I'm not out there like I am in my house, but it's still part of the issue. And the thing that I'm really thinking the only way that we can get out of this, or I can get out of it, is going back to that, what I talked to you about, is on that restriction of play. And I talked to, I can't remember his name, Dale, whatever, that you talked to on this report. His business partner, Bob Unitek, and I had quite a long talk before this all was turned loose. And he said he has a similar situation at their place in Florida, where their courts are very close to the residences. And he said what they do is they allow the courts to be open all day long, and then they close them down at 6 p.m. at night to allow the residences to be outdoors, to do their grilling out, work out in their yards. And this is what I'm asking. I'm not saying it has to be 6 p.m., but I'm asking if I can get some of my evening back. So I have a 3 seasons room in my house that I sit out in the summertime with the windows open. It's a room my dad built for me 30-some years ago. And I can't use that room anymore because it overlooks that park, and that's all I hear is that pounding of that ball, because it's only 300 feet away. I can't even sit out there with the windows closed. It comes right through the glass. So while I'm extremely grateful and appreciative of the city doing this here, I'm still begging for the downtime on that court, some type of downtime on it.
Anybody have any questions or comments on that?
I hear, we've hired a professional at your recommendation, am I correct? And what else are we, seems like you're not gonna be satisfied with what his
Well, that was
recommendation
my
was.
fear,
It's
is
all we've got
that
to
he
go
would base
with.
it strictly on decibels, and he did, strictly decibels. And-
But 50, I think it's suggested that south barrier will bring down decibels to 50, which is, I believe that's normal talk. Is
Yeah.
it correct?
Well, that's what you guys are falling in that trap. You're thinking that if you hear a noise, it's gonna be normal. I hear this noise over and over and over and over and over. You can't hear a noise like that constantly. There's several components to this thing. Decibels is one, duration is one, the pitch of the thing, and the frequency of it. And it's all a combination of how to correct it. It cannot be one. It cannot just be decibel. And that's something that people kind of fall for that, okay, we can put this up, get the decibel here. Larry told me yesterday that a ticking clock bothers him. And I can guarantee you on that list of quiet library and everything, that ticking clock's going to be down at the bottom. And what I'm hearing is up here.
So when you're talking about limiting, what time do you have in mind?
Well, Larry and I talked a little bit yesterday. We were kind of talking like maybe 7 o'clock, something like that. So I still have some time in the evening. I can go outside. I can do my watering. I can work in my flower beds. I haven't got any sorry, Jurgen, I haven't bought any flowers yet. But I haven't got anything going because I don't know if I can be out in my yard working on this stuff.
So if you're out in the middle of the day or till 5 o'clock when play would be allowed, that's not going to bother you?
Now, what'd you say? I didn't catch that.
No, you're saying limit, cut play off at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Don't you go out in your yard prior to 7 o'clock and that doesn't bother you?
Yeah, it does. I wish I'd brought with me my earplugs I wear. I wear earplugs all the time out in the yard. Where's your earplugs? So I don't listen to it.
One thing that worries me is if we limit the hours next month, we're gonna have 10 pickleball players here raising Cain about having their hours shut off. You know, we're talking about Florida. Well, 90% of the people down there are retired. Yeah, they can play during the day, but here a lot of these people work. And by the time they get off work and
Well, 7, I mean, they get there about 5. It's a couple hours. I mean, don't I have any rights in any of this?
well, you had the right to request this, which you did.
Yeah.
And actually, board demanded it. You recommended this guy,
Well,
and we paid him to do a really thorough study. And I'm assuming he knows what he's talking about.
I think he does, but,
So,
okay, we can do it. You can spend all that money and do it, and I'm telling you, if it doesn't shut it down, I'll be back.
so basically, you're saying we can't make you happy.
No. See, Larry, this is what I'm telling you.
No, I mean, tell me.
You want,
We-
I'm asking you if you can give me some of the time away from the court and not do this money on these panels, so I can have some time away, that I have some quiet time with it. I'm tired of wearing earplugs.
But we don't, I mean, according to his report, again, I'm going by the report. I don't know these other things, these repetition things you're talking about and so
And
forth.
that's not the problem, why you guys can't understand it.
But we have to go by his report, which is supposed to be a professionally done report, and I think it is, by how comprehensive it was. So now it seems like you're changing the game, the rules here in the middle of the
I'm
game.
offering to say, because I've asked for this dead time on the court for every time I've been here. Restricted, I've asked for this every time. And what I'm asking now is for it again, but not spend the money on the panels. Don't do it.
So you don't want us to spend your,
No, I'm saying just do you give me the 7 o'clock. I mean, you're only giving me a couple hours there.
Didn't we talk about an afternoon time before, weren't we
Yeah,
talking?
But he already said he couldn't restrict it because of the locks and the gates or something.
I think trying to restrict hours on this would really open up a can of worms. I don't know.
It's just hard to enforce. I mean, no
Yeah.
matter what
Yeah.
time it is, it's hard to enforce, it's hard to police.
The one
You know,
at the evening, at the end of the evening, is very easy to enforce. You just put it up there, this is when it closes.
Well,
well, I mean, we do that at all our
Yeah.
parks, and we
Yeah.
still have to run people
Well,
out of
believe
there.
me, I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
enforce it.
well, another thing I have to drop back on it, Judy, is you're the only one complaining.
And that
We've got
should
a
make
lot of,
difference.
we've got a lot of houses around
And
there.
I've explained that to you 100 times, that those people aren't home most of the day. They are, when they are home, they're inside, with their windows all shut. None of them are outdoor people, I don't even know them. Never seen them outside. I'm an outdoor person, I'm not all the time. None of them have a nice room like I've got in the back of my house.
I know that the pickleball people, or the people who use the courts, are also going to say, well, we give them a couple of hours, from 5 to 7. I get off at 5. I couldn't be over there by then to go
Okay,
play.
then tell me when
And
my
so,
time can be.
I mean,
When can my
going,
time be?
it's going to be harder for them too. I mean, either way, it's a
Well,
no-win.
they've got from 8 o'clock in the morning.
Not if they're working.
I know that there's other courts too. But, okay, from the 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, when can I guarantee that I can have some time and they're not have to listen? Just name that time.
Has the pickleball group been asked their input on this?
I have not spoken with them, no.
Judy, you're assuming if this board would approve the sound barrier, you're assuming that's not, I think you've already come in with a preconceived notion that that's not gonna work.
I'm assuming it isn't, and I've talked to a couple of people that have done this. And they said
But you're assuming that.
I am assuming,
Can-
it, and I'm so certain of it from talking with these other people. I talked to one guy that's 200 feet away, which is comparable to what I am, and he said, don't do it, it won't work. And I'm not just saying that, you know, that he's the only one that has the authority or the knowledge, but I'm saying don't spend the money on it if you won't give me the time at the end of the day, in the evening, that I can have some time to myself away from it.
So again, what you're saying is, you don't, if the board was willing to approve this and not the time, you're not,
Well,
you're
no,
saying not waste our money on the sound
I'm just
barrier.
saying, I think it would be a better solution the way I'm proposing now. If you want to go ahead and do it, fine. If it doesn't work, I'll be back. Find out what the next thing is we're gonna do. Because they are too close to my house, and that is not gonna change. It's not gonna change. There was no study done up front. Nobody did any noise studies, nobody researched it, and they just jammed it in there, and it's happening all across the nation. Everybody's having trouble with it.
I think we admitted that early on. It was something, no one here even thought about that when the pickleball ball, because it was all new.
I know, and
And I don't think
appreciate
that's a
that.
blame, it's just
But
a
here we
fact.
are now, and we gotta get this resolved. And I'm not convinced that this will do it. Go ahead and do it. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I can guarantee you,
But I think it would be a hard thing to pass, saying what you've already said. You're almost like premeditating that this isn't going to work and we're just gonna waste our money.
well, I'm just going by what somebody else has told me. I didn't make that up ahead of time. I do know.
Well, and we can go by on what
What
was
the
told
report is.
to us.
I just know that if and I can tell you, if you had to listen to a 48 decibel noise constantly for hours and hours and hours, you would tell me it won't work.
I live on Center Street, and so I do listen to it all day and all night long. The sirens go by, and I understand that this is the house that I chose
But
by a busy street, so
well,
there's
this
nowhere
isn't
that I
This
can.
isn't the situation I chose. 'Cause
But
I've
it's
been
by a
there.
park, right? Was that park there before you
No.
bought the house? No?
I built my house
Mm.
43 years ago, and no park was there. But what you're talking about, Center Street, those are just passing noises. I know it's noisy, but there is a difference between that and this constant. It-
My concern is, after reading the report, I was almost in agreement of thinking, okay, we need to go ahead with the sound barrier. But now with your comments, I'm not just.
Because I don't think it's the
we've
sound, it's the
already-
annoyance.
You've already
Yeah.
convinced yourself that's not gonna work.
No, I'm saying go ahead and do it. But I'm just telling you, if you spend the money and it does not work, I'll be back. I'm just making that.
And you can come back, and certainly we'll listen to that. That doesn't mean
You
this
know,
board
we've
would
gone-
act on it.
And we even were talking about doing a barrier down the middle of the court last fall to really contain the noise in there. But he says it's not necessary, but I think that he's got this level of noise, what he's calling, or what the standard's calling acceptable noise is maybe for hearing it one time or two times. If this was going on 2 or 3 hours daily in the park, I wouldn't even be here. But when it goes on all week, it goes on the entire weekend.
That's when
Judy?
people are off work.
I've read the report, and 60 decibel, I agree, is pretty obnoxious, especially if it's continuous, so I totally agree with you. My concern is if it only reduces it to 50, I'm not sure that's very significant, and it's a pretty big expense. I'm sure you will be back, because at 50, I live by the helicopter pad by the hospital, and when a helicopter comes over, it's probably around 60 or 70, if not higher. It's very disturbing, but it's only for 3 minutes,
That's it. I mean,
and then they land.
That's what I try to tell people, a noise like that is short-term and leaves.
And I understand that. My concern is if we go ahead and put this barrier on the south side, it's not going to help you because you're getting that noise from the west side. And now we're looking.
Not according to
Well,
this.
I understand that,
Okay.
but I can still see that that sound would come around. And I can just imagine if we put that barrier on the south side, she's still not going to be happy because she's still going to hear some noise. So I guess I just am concerned we're going to spend all that money, and I'm not sure it's going to solve the problem.
Well, it was first proposed that we put it on the south and the west side,
I
and Judy
understand.
wasn't happy with that either, Judy.
Sure, I understand. So
That was first proposed.
I guess my
And then we
concern is-
hire consultants that do
Right.
this, and they tell us on the south side.
Yeah.
So,
I mean-
I'm not an acoustic specialist,
Sure.
but these guys are.
But you just have to put some thought
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it. or
yeah.
you have to use your own brain.
I put a ton of
Well,
thought
we,
into it.
you know,
Believe me.
Judy, we have been going over this and over it and over it.
But there's been
To
no
say we haven't
resolution.
put any thought in it is not right, because we have, and I know Larry really has. And my opinion right now, we cannot make you happy. We can put this up, you're not gonna be happy. If we change the hours, you're gonna want something else.
Well, I would go
And,
with
and
that.
I, for one, am not willing to vote to change hours because that affects a lot of people. So,
I'd be willing to vote to try to have it closed from like 1 to 3. Just putting up a
that's
sign,
not what she wants.
well,
Well, I
that would be the
You
compromise.
don't pay any attention. I originally asked for that, and
Right.
you said you couldn't do it because of the door locks.
Judy, I said I had no way of locking the courts without automatic locks. I don't have somebody to sit out there and lock the locks and then unlock them. And when I told you I watched the courts on the camera, from about 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock, there was no activity out there.
Well, there are some days that.
It's usually in the mornings till 11 o'clock, and then it comes at 5 o'clock and goes to the evening. Those hours, there is no activity hardly
See,
out
this
there.
is the problem. My outdoor time is evening. That's when
Well,
I-
that's what she's trying to say.
I think you'd have to compromise and take your time at a different time than people who work. I think they should have some time at night to be, like you said, by the time they get home, change their clothes, get ready, get out there.
Have dinner.
Yes, so we tried, again, not policing it, just putting up a sign, going and letting the pickleball,
And does it have to be
People
every
know.
evening? I mean, it could be.
We're gonna close the tennis
Two
courts
evenings.
too, or just,
No, that's a different. that's a
and
different
next
thing.
month, when the pickleball people come in here and raise cane, and they will be
yes.
here,
Yeah, I know, they got all the rights, so I'm full aware of that. They go in and take over everything.
I had a discussion with Mayor Gross about this as well, and he read the report. He was all in favor of putting the sound barrier on the south wall, or south fence. He thought that that's what this recommended, and he thought, that's what we should do. But, I agree. I mean, after hearing Judy's comments, I don't know if that's going to satisfy her or not. So,
Well,
I don't know.
put it up. Go for it. Let's do it.
Larry, you investigated a time frame. Should the board approve this? What's the time frame on getting something up?
They said 4 to 6 weeks on the order. Yes. And as soon as we got it, you can probably put it up within 2 days.
She's 20.
And you told me last fall that you were going to talk to us.
So 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, so she must be here.
I have
Let's
not
see.
talked to any pickleball
If you
players.
take,
I don't have a contact to the pickleball players, Judy.
you get all that noise, that's not going to help.
I don't think that's my responsibility.
That barrier's
Stay
over
that
here.
statement.
You know.
That is not.
No, I did not make that mistake.
did we, do we have a motion on this?
These people, that's not going to help.
The motion to
Just waste of-
put the barrier up?
a question.
Okay,
Do we know of other facilities, whether it be cities, whoever, has experienced the same issue that's done the sound barrier?
Just on the acoustic block, talking to Charles O'Leary, he's gave me instances where this has worked and people were satisfied with it, but that's who I first went to, and Judy was not happy with what he said. She wanted a professional, and we got a professional.
Do we have any cities? Do we know of any cities where this is, barriers been put up?
Sure, it's ridiculous.
okay,
I'd motion to
Enough.
table
yeah, enough.
the, table
We have a motion to table. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion to table and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I missed it, what happened?
Nothing.
You're not gonna do anything?
No. Nope,
Why is that?
because we cannot make you happy. And why should we spend the money and have these guys go to all the effort when it's not gonna do any good and you'll be right back here?
I
So,
said, go ahead and try.
well,
I'm
and you
only
also
repeating-
said-
I'm only repeating to you what one gentleman told me on one of the sites I'm on.
you also said, put it up and I'll be back.
If it's a problem, I will. You shouldn't expect that.
I'm willing, Judy, to, if Larry can, if we can find a municipality or a city that has installed something like this, to go talk to those people. But again, the way you're saying, I came in with the idea we should put this barrier up, but after listening to you, why should we, yeah, and it's your words, why should we waste our money?
But I have the alternative to doing it. I said, instead of putting the money into it, give me some downtime, and you won't do that either. So I'm lost
Judy, we've
between-
already had a vote, stand a second, we voted to table it, it's tabled. We're done for this. So, moving on to new business. Flooring projects.
On our,
Will this ever be, will this ever be revised again?
Well, you can try, but I don't know.
A table motion can be brought back up
Yeah.
anytime, can it
Yeah.
not, Steve?
Yep.
So when can we reactivate it?
Anytime.
Well, let's do it right now.
No, not now, not this meeting. This meeting is done as far as that's concerned. This meeting is over as far as the pickleball noise. We're on to new business.
on our last five-year master plan, there were comments improving our restrooms and our parks. As you know, we've eliminated the old hand-roll towel machines, and we have hand dryers now. And in the attached pictures there, you can see that we've started doing our concrete floors in the three restrooms. Some 30 and 50-year-old floors. We've had them come in and they grind the floors down. They put a layer of epoxy down, put flake in it, and then a layer of epoxy over that. So they really turned out nice. We've had a lot of good compliments about that. So the Pike Lake, Lucerne Park, and Central Park restrooms have been done. We also had some of the flooring come up in the Pete Thorne Center kitchen. We were able to do the hallway at the SOC and into the kitchen, and it really looks great. They were happy with it. We had to have no activity in there for about a week to get that done, but they were fine with that. They loved the facility and did it. And we're also currently having the floors at the Nye Youth Cabin done. So we peeked in there today, and it really brightens it up and makes that a nice facility. And it'll seal the floors really good, and it's got a flaked epoxy too. So we'll have pictures of those for you at the next meeting. They should be done within this week, and it's rented Saturday, so it's got to be done. But a very good company. We've worked with Midwest Flooring. They've been really responsive. They've got right on the job and got them finished before the season started. So I was real happy with it. So.
Questions, comments? other than they look great.
Yeah, they look great.
Okay, next up, maintenance report.
Okay, we helped set up the alleyway by City Hall out back here a few weeks ago. We've planted all the flowers in the downtown and park beds throughout town. All of the beds are mulched except for a few in Central Park. We'll wrap those up in the next day or two, and we should be completely done mulching beds. We've re-edged and freshened up several flower beds, specifically Nye, Rotary, and we're currently working on Kittyland Parks. Just over the years, they had weeds starting to come through them, and the underlayment was failing and everything, so we dug them clear out, put new weed barrier at the bottom, put new edging and new mulch on them, so they have a new, fresh look. We've also started getting seasonal help in, which is a big help. Well, we were starting to get over our heads there for a little bit, and they've really come in at the right time and made a big difference already. We have all the buoys in at both lakes, so they are ready for swimming. I believe lifeguards are starting this weekend, so we're all ready to go there. We're also running the Barber Surf Rake on the beaches daily. As of now, we will throughout the rest of the season. And also the volleyball net is up at Center Lake Beach, so if anybody wants to play beach volleyball, help yourselves. I believe that's all.
That's it?
That's it.
They've been busy.
Questions or comments, anybody? Okay, next up, recreation report. I know you haven't done much, but go ahead.
Not really. So we'll go back and talk about April a little bit. On April 19th, we tried to do the Bob Ross painting for the first time. It was a huge success. Everyone enjoyed it. We've been asked to have more of those classes. I was really happy with the turnout for that one. And then on Friday, May 3rd, we had the Mom Sundance. We had 92 participants. We all had a great time. Suzanne was there to help, and then Lene decorated and did a really good job. My new assistant is doing an amazing job. Then this past Friday night, Lene, Suzanne, and Lena and I went to the Third Friday. We had a booth there. We talked to a lot of people about upcoming concerts and events and programs that we have. It was really nice to be out in the community handing out flyers and information so everyone can have a chance to know what's going on. And then Saturday, the skate park opened. We had about 30 participants out there. It turned out to be a great day for skating, and I was really excited for that to get opened up again. And then today, we had Imagination Station. We had 74 participants. So before I came here tonight, I had to change my clothes. I had paint on me and glitter all over myself. But that's another program that Lene has taken over, and she's doing a fantastic job with that. Like Sean mentioned, the lifeguards are starting this weekend. The skate park staff has started, and I have a few more coming in for rec leaders next week. And then next week on Wednesday, the 29th, we have our first paddleboarding day. On Thursday, we have our first library stories in the park. On Friday, we will have our second concert of the summer concert series. And Saturday, we have fishing derby. So a busy week next week.
I'm just curious if when you did the Third Fridays, did people give you suggestions of even more stuff to do? I mean, not that you're not already doing a ton, but.
They were just amazed at how much that we do, you know, knowing that there's things 5 and 6 days a week that they can come and join in. And most of those programs and events are free. We did an evaluation. I haven't had a chance to look at those yet. I glanced at a few of them, and it looks like most people are very happy with the job that we're doing, so.
Well, I would hope so. I think you guys and Sean are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And Larry. Larry's the head guy.
Yes.
Questions or comments? The Bob Ross, just some of those pictures really turned out great.
They
did
all
good.
turned out great.
Yeah.
They did
I was
good.
very impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will have more of those.
Good. Other matters?
Well, as you know, April was the Transformer Award for our department, and as I was getting the ballots ready, for the individuals to vote. I thought to myself, there's no one person in our department that has transformed our department. It's been a collaboration of all of us that have, lived up to our goals of communication, accountability, and teamwork. Every individual in our department has contributed to the transformation of our department. So I went out and I told the group just how I felt, and I thought that we should all get the award as a group. And so, as you can see in the picture, they were all happy to do it. But I just felt that it takes a team and a lot of individuals to transform something, and that's what's happening at our departments. So good jobs to everyone now.
That's a great picture, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Congratulations to everybody.
Right.
Meeting review, well, things got a little heated, but I'm looking forward to the day, hopefully one day soon, when we don't have to have pickleball noise on the agenda anymore. Got a feeling it'll be a while. Other than that, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You can't make that motion,
I can't?
no.
Okay.
I'll
I guess I
move-
won't
I'll
then.
move
Okay.
the adjourn.
Have a motion, need a second?
Right, I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I guess I forgot I was not a voting member. But I tried.